Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands
exclusively at your Acura dealer. We're in Dallas, where the Minnesota Vikings are leading the Cowboys at halftime 17-3. Welcome back to Dallas, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. Great to have you with us tonight on a Sunday night on ESPN. Dallas had all sorts of problems throwing the ball in the first half. Minnesota did not, and it looked like Tommy Kramer and his receivers had some excellent timing together. That's not only talent, but it's also mechanics, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it was Wade Wilson. But Tommy Kramer has to have that same kind of mechanics. I know what you're talking about. What happens is a quarterback's drop is directly related to the receiver's route. There you see Wilson's going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, which correlates to about a 10-yard route for the receiver, and it results in a completion. They have been excellent all night doing this with the football. The next problem that the Vikings have caused is they've taken the tight end, who is right here, dropped him off the ball, and forced the Cowboys secondary to rotate and change, which again causes communication and allows the receivers to get down the field. In this instance, they're going to try and throw the ball to Jordan as he moves over in motion. You see the rotation of the secondary? That's what you want to do. You want to create confusion. Should have been a catchable pass, just got away from Steve Jordan. The Vikings also line up in a basic front. This is what's known as an under. Here is the tight end right there, or an over defense. And what they're going to do is they're going to line up 3 guys, 1, 2, 3, over towards the tight end. That is an over defense, and they will rush and stunt from there. And that has caused problems because the linemen don't know who to block. The result is a mauling of the quarterback. That's
all right, Joe,
well, that's exactly what, that's the thing that the Cowboys are going to have to protect against this particular half.
And remember, Steve Pallor warming up on the sideline as Kevin Sweeney was taking that kind of a first-half beating. We're at the half. The Vikings lead 17-3 over the Cowboys.
The Acura Legend sedan offers such amenities as leather-trimmed interior, sophisticated stereo system, and ergonomically designed controls. Is it any wonder people enjoy sitting in it? And with its 24-valve 2.7-liter V6, is it any wonder they enjoy standing on it? The Legend sedan, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
Before you even touch this camera, you're going to want to own it. The incredible 35mm Infinity Super Zoom 300. New from Olympus.
First, Gillette made shaving closer. Then we made it smoother. With Atra Plus, its Luber Smooth Strip glides the razor over your face for Gillette's smoothest shave. The Atra Plus system. First, we made it closer. Then we made it smoother.
Gene, it's almost time.
Yeah, bachelor time's running out.
I think the key word here is out.
Poker with the guys.
Out. Handkerchief out. No, handkerchief is in. Fun and laughter out.
Now station wagon's in. Bowling, what's bowling?
I don't bowl. You'll learn. It's the only way you'll ever get out with us.
You see how that works, Dave?
For the friendship. The clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
Let's go get him married.
Yeah. Now, poor Sue.
Behind every single flight one of these makes stand the 60,000 professionals of United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Ready to start the fourth quarter. The Vikings leading the third quarter, the Vikings leading the Dallas Cowboys 17-3. And the Vikings defensive secondary, which led the league coming in with 22 interceptions, has 2 more tonight. And 2 fumbles. Turnovers have been the story of this ballgame.
And they have been 2 great interceptions. Carl Lee with that one, Darrell Fullington with another, pulling it out of the air. Lee with that great battle with Michael Irvin. But still, score's only 17-3. Other than the first 5 minutes of this football game, the Cowboys have played the Vikings toe-to-toe.
And their defense should be very encouraged by the way they played so far tonight with those 4 turnovers. Roger Ruzek to kick to Darrell Harris. Start of the third period. Harris at the 4. Flag is down, and so is Harris at the 27-yard line. We'll check the penalty for it. Vince Albritton made the tackle. We have had more than a couple of flags tonight, and as usual, there is a penalty on the receiving team on the kickoff.
Coach Burns looking on. Wants to know who it's on.
And that's Randall McDaniel, the rookie guard, who was injured on the play.
Holding during the run back. Number 53 of the receivers. It'll be first down and 10.
Let's take a look at the first half stats, and it was not an offensive juggernaut for either side.
Well, the big number to look at here is the turnovers. The Cowboys have committed 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. The fumbles really led to the disaster in the 2 touchdowns that the Vikings have come up with. The Vikings started out really well, and they've leveled off a little bit. One of the things when you're a rookie, whether you're a lineman or anything else, you have to cover kicks in this game.
McDaniel comes to the sideline, and Randy Rasmussen, 5-year free agent, comes in at the left guard. Delay to finish. Flag is down. Downs made the tackle as he got to the 25. We'll check this penalty for you. And this will be a hold and bring back the 5-yard gain.
Number 52 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Now that's Rasmussen, who just came in for the injured McDaniel. Here are the first
There's the possession.
Horrifying moments for the Dallas Cowboys, because the Vikings got the ball on a turnover, went for a touchdown. Another turnover led to the field goal. And you can see they really didn't do a whole lot on their own.
Once they got through that first 3 drives, they settled in. Now the second half has started just like the game did with 2 penalties.
Anderson got it back to the 19-yard line.
The jump went to number 46, Alfred Anderson.
That's really what you want to do. And it's first down and 20. You want to try and pick up 7, 8, 9 yards. Put yourself in a second down and 11, second down and 12 situation where the quarterback now, if he completes a 6 or 7 yard pass, he's got a good working yardage to go at. 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6.
2nd and 10, Minnesota. Fake to Nelson. And Wilson scrambling again, gets it out of bounds to the 24-yard line. Ron Burton chased him out. Sweeney warming up on the sideline.
Well, they had a song down here where they talk about Kevin Sweeney, he ain't no weenie. Bet you he's proving that tonight. Boy, they better strike that.
Sideline's a comfortable feeling. You're not going to get hit too many times over there. Short is Sweet. Not so far. He's down by 14. But he's shown a lot of courage.
I think people make way too much about the size of a quarterback.
You weren't big.
No, as a matter of fact, he's a little bit taller than I am, I think.
3rd and 5, Nelson on the carry. A couple of great blocks, and he has the first down. Shoved out of bounds, but his forward progress had already taken him to the 30-yard line. Rasmussen threw him a good block. Now, you say he's a little bit taller?
I have my hair up. See, he had his helmet on. he had his helmet on. They say he's 5'11 and a half. I claim to be 6 feet tall. I'm laughing because I'm right around 6 feet. But now, I played 15 years in this game. And people, you know, they're trying to knock Sweeney and say, oh, he's too small, he's too small. He's not too small from a physical height standpoint. Wade Wilson on the other side, who's running this Viking offense, is about 6'2", 6'3", and what people term as the ideal size.
Wilson near sideline. Carter looked like he was bobbling the ball a little bit as he got to the sideline. They still rule it complete at the 41, enough for a first down.
Wilson again slides just a little bit in the pocket, makes the throw out to the sideline now. 1 foot is there. He drags the toe. That's a good catch. That's a good catch. Watch his right foot. Watch the right foot. See his left foot's down. See how he drags that right toe. See how he drags that right toe. That's just an excellent piece of receiving.
They will review it upstairs,
and it's not going to matter. They'll look at it, and it's not going to change one thing that happened.
Would have to be conclusive in order to reverse the call.
That's right. There they are, the men in the booth. There's another angle of it. The left foot is down. The right foot is dragged. He has perfect control of the ball. That's a clinic. They had to save that one, cut it off, and mail it to all receivers, all young kids that want to be receivers. That was a clinic right there.
Grover Clemmer is the replay official tonight. And the play stands upon review.
Does anything make Jerry Burns smile? Such a dapper dresser.
Wilson again on that little roll. And Burton said, go ahead, roll out to my side again. He's a big linebacker in the current mold, 6'1", 242.
You see him, number 57, the lower left side of your screen. We talked about when nobody blocks you, you can be real tough. That time Wilson got out too far. He had Kurt Loudermilk out in front of him, but he overran his blocker. And what happens when you overrun your blocker? They try and plant you into the turf. That's a hello.
He may have said on the way down, this one's for Sweeney. 2nd and 15, Vikings. Blitz. Everybody coming. Throws it up for Jones. Touchdown. Robert Williams got lost.
Well, Wade Wilson knew exactly what to do. Just hang the ball up high and allow Hassan Jones to make the adjustment under it. When they bring everybody, I said, I don't believe the Cowboys could blitz. There comes Michael Downs, a free safety. And now watch Hassan Jones make the adjustment. Williams thinks he's got the angle figured out, and Jones just sort of floats right back to the ball and carries it in like a briefcase.
Hassan Jones, 3 catches, 132 yards, 2 of them for touchdowns. Tonight he's gained a third of what he's had all year long in receiving yards, and had twice as many touchdowns as he had coming in tonight. Chuck Nelson converts, and the Vikings have the momentum back as well as a 21-point lead on the Cowboys.
You know, if I've discovered one thing from driving this new Mazda 929, it's this. Not only does it measure up to the great cars of the world with its luxury and quiet, it more than measures up when you introduce it to your favorite piece of road. The new Mazda 929, a high-performance luxury sedan, the Mazda way.
For great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store, where the November True Value of the month is their Master Electrician 20-foot cord reel and trouble light. Now you can bring the light right to your work. You can plug in a power tool, and you're protected by a 7-amp circuit breaker. In November, get the Master Electrician 20-foot trouble light for just $12.66, where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We used to have a chair, and my father used to come up from work every night, and he used to sit in this one chair, and all the change from his pockets would empty out into the chair. We would all go flying for that chair, and we'd take all the change and say, did it for years.
How many people ever broke their neck falling backwards in a chair, honestly?
Broke their kids' necks leaning back.
If you fall out of a tree and break your neck, I'm going to kill you. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
In or out, in or out. That was a big one. My mother used to say that all the time. You're going to stay in, you're going to come out. Because you were going to let the air conditioning out. Yeah.
Tonight's game from Dallas is brought to you by Mazda and the exciting new Mazda cars and trucks for 1989. By True Value Hardware for quality selection and personal attention. Make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. And by Levi's Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants. Picture from the Goodyear blimp out of Spring, Texas. A little south of here, about 220 miles, a little closer to Houston. And the Cowboys have a problem now. They're down 21 points and have shown not a great predilection to moving the football so far. Darryl Clark and Cornell Burbage back to receive the kickoff. Burbage near side, 7-yard line. And 4th down as he got back to the 27. There is another flag down on the play. Sam Ano, backup linebacker, made the tackle. And the Cowboys will be backed up for an illegal block in the back.
Run back, illegal block. Number 84 on the receivers, first down at 10.
Doug Cosby, the tight end.
There's a look at the touchdown. Now, here they have 10 people at the line of scrimmage and a free safety. He's going to be in coverage, the corners are in coverage, and the safety is going to cover the tight end. Downs comes so late, he takes himself out of the game, or out of the coverage, and it's really one-on-one. You're asking the corners to cover all over the field. It's just not going to happen.
Walker to the 19-yard line. Joey Browner made the stop. The safety came up to get him. Here are the possessions in the first half for the Dallas Cowboys. They did not do well the entire game, but the first 3 series were a nightmare. 2 fumbles. Then they had to punt the ball twice in a row. Then they got the field goal from Ruzek, and that was a career-long 50. Then the first of 2 interceptions. And finally, the last interception that killed the drive.
You don't want a lot of red when you do one of those things. They got a lot of red.
Red being minus yardage. 2nd and 3. And pounding forward, Darryl Clack looks like he has the first down. Clack out of Arizona State, 3rd year.
You know,
seldom used this year.
And right now, you just don't decide to, to go crazy. Now, what happens is guys have shoe contracts, okay? Now, we don't know what kind of shoe he has on, but they're drawing on a design of one of those companies out there, and that's just to make sure that the shoe company that gives him the shoes or, pays him the money to wear the shoes knows that this is it. I wonder if the guy who's drawn gets something.
I was wondering that myself. I don't think that's under your job description as a trainer. Fowler takes the little swing pass and gets it out to the 26-yard line. Reggie Rutland made the tackle.
Mike, the Cowboys have got to get into some type of a rhythm. They were in one the first half, and it was disaster. I mean, there was just fumble, interception, incompletion, sack, run around for your life. By coming out running the ball the first 2 plays, hitting a little swing pass, they have to just try and find some consistency with Sweeney as their quarterback. This football game is getting to a point where if they can be respectable in it, it'll give Coach Landry something to build on.
2nd and 7. Of course, that's what his goal was when he signed that 3-year contract, to rebuild his team. Sweeney for Walker, out of bounds. Good coverage by Joey Browner. Edwards was also open.
Yeah, we talked about it. They came out the 2nd play of the game, lined Herschel Walker up out wide to try and go down the field with Joey Browner. Now, Joey Browner does a good job of staying with him, but the football is thrown in a place where Herschel doesn't have an opportunity to make a play. It's out of bounds.
Now 3rd and 7. With 10:07 to go in the 3rd quarter, Dallas has converted only 1 third down situation so far tonight. And that guy is a tremendous safety. Been to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years. Four wide receivers. Vikings may have jumped offside. Sweeney gets a free one and overthrows. Irvin was out there. Joey Browner and Wyman Henderson back on the coverage, just missed. We'll check the flag.
I'd like to be Red Cashion's agent with all the airtime he's had. Huh?
Got more than you have, isn't it?
Both sides, number 60 on the defense, still 3rd down.
Baker jumped early, so now it will be 3rd and 2.
That particular pass was the first time I've seen Sweeney throw the ball flat. And what I mean by flat is you talked about the one looked like a punt before. It went up so high and came down. Here, he throws this one a little flatter and doesn't give Irvin a chance to run under.
In the pocket, he's been a real target. He's hit only 3 of 13.
They've hit him at least 10 of those times. They haven't moved him at all, which surprises me.
Doug Martin is back in there on the defensive line. Sweeney with time on this play, and the Cowboys have the first down at their own 38. Martin got inside of Carl Lee and made the catch. They don't know if Sweeney is the answer to their quarterback troubles or not.
You know, he hasn't really had a chance tonight to be able to answer any questions. He's been running for his life. But what we're seeing in this drive is we're seeing a guy who sets in the pocket tough and throws the football quite well.
And can take a hit. Herschel lowers the shoulder across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. David Howard made the stop. Danny White in the sweater. Right behind him, number 10 is Scott Sequels. He's the 4th quarterback on this roster, and it's rare these days to find 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but, you know, when you got one in street clothes, you got the other guy who, you know, Steve Pallur has been replaced with Sweeney to try and give the ball club a lift. Pallur had struggled a lot, particularly when they got into an area of scoring position, and that's why Coach Landry had to make a change. It's the only place you can do it effectively on your team is at the quarterback position.
Here comes the blitz. Sweeney directing traffic, throws. That's a great catch at the sideline by Chandler. Chandler was down on his knees, and Sweeney threw it about 2 feet off the ground for a completion.
Well, he does a little pointing. He says, you know, over here, over here, over here. Boom, he gets it done. There you see him just load it, throw it low to the sideline. Chandler gets his knees down before he goes out of bounds to make the reception.
That's a great play.
It really is.
Herschel Walker has been held to 33 yards rushing on 13 carries. Remember, this is the Vikings are trying to go 34 straight games without giving up 100 yards.
And being down, the Cowboys being down by 21 points, they're not apt to run the football a lot, so that record could well stand.
3rd in the yard, Walker on the toss. That's very, very close. Talked about the quarterbacks on the Dallas team. There might be another one out of this group because the Cowboys look like they're going to have the opportunity to draft very high. What do you think of this group?
Well, you got Aikman and Pete. They're going to play this weekend, so everybody gets a chance to see UCLA, USC. Mike Elkins out of Wake Forest, Steve Walsh out of Miami, and Jeff Francis out of Tennessee. Of course, Walsh, another one of those junior eligibility guys. I'm sure they wouldn't want to see him leave down there, but there are a lot of opportunities to play. Now, there are the records. Kansas City with a big upset today. Detroit losing a heartbreaker to Tampa Bay. Green Bay, I think, have made the change in a quarterback. They might be Pat. Same thing with Pittsburgh. They're going with Bubby Brister. Dallas is the team, and Kansas City, to be honest with you, look like they may have to bring a guy in for the future.
First down, Dallas. But you have to believe anybody that had a shot at Aikman is either going to draft him or make a major trade for his rights.
Yeah, he's major trade bait. You know, he's like chumming for the big one. It's like throwing him out there for the make-up. It's exactly what he is. Somebody's going to land a big shark come draft day if they you know, make a deal for that young man.
Too tall on the Dallas sideline, hoping the offense can get them back in this game. Oh, got a nice block. Nice block by Ray Alexander. 6'4", 199 as a wide receiver, and he came back and threw a good one. There's Alexander.
From the top of your screen, you'll see Ray Alexander come in and make a hit. Now, he does a good job of getting his head on the other side for the block. If he hits the guy in the back at all, they'll call it clipping.
Brad Edwards never saw it. As it turned out, it was only a gain of 2 yards. Make it 3. They'll call it 2nd and 7. Clock running with 7:10 to go 3rd quarter. It's a 21-point lead. Vikings come with a blitz. Sweeney throws the interception. Picked off by Darrell Fullington, his 2nd of the night, the 3rd interception, and the 5th turnover. He knew he made a mistake as soon as he let it go, but it was too late then.
That's a bad decision. One of the major rules of quarterbacking is when you're rolling out, you do not throw back across the field. He did it against the Giants last week, got away. They missed 3 of them they should have had. There you see him throw back into the field. He sees Herschel Walker standing there, but, you know, you're fighting gravity. and in smarts. He's just going to have to learn that, be a little more patient. We'll be back. Vikings 24, Cowboys 3.
No weight training. This is for your amusement only.
Good evening. Welcome to Fanny's.
Give you some idea of the difference between beer and Genesee Cream Ale. Smooth Genesee Cream Ale. It's not the same old brewski.
If your confidence and muscles are as soft as pillows, do what Chuck did and come to Pachillo's. For your next purchase of boxing, martial arts, weightlifting, and exercise equipment, come to Pachillo's, 1390 Hurdle Avenue.
Darrell Fullington, the rookie out of Miami, has picked 2 off tonight. 2 of 5 turnovers.
See, I'm on.
I'm on.
You know, we did it when you play in the National Football League. That's part of your playbook. Says if you're on camera, say how do you know it.
Oh, they've got that one down pat. Wilson to Finney. Lockhart was there along with Downs.
You know, it was real interesting talking to Bob Schnelker, the offensive coordinator, and Rick Fenny. It was brought up to the point that when he first joined the Vikings, they were concerned a little bit about his confidence in his own ability to play. And when I asked him what's the one thing he worked on, there they are together. When I asked Fenny, what's the one thing you worked on? He says, just knowing that I belong in the game. It's the same observation Coach Schnelker made about him. He does belong.
2nd and 9, he certainly does. Cowboys come with 4. Wilson finally flushed and now sacked at the 32. Too tall, Noonan and Jeffcoat all got there.
Ed Jones doing a great job as usual. Comes in on the right side. And there's a left side Jeffcoat flushing him out. Danny Noonan goes over the top. Ed Jones coming around.
Noonan, they're trying to build the defense around him. He's an excellent down lineman.
Much in the mold of Randy White. He's not what Randy White was when he was early in his career. Good football player, but not quite at that level.
Randy White, you're talking a certain Hall of Famer. Carter dives for the sticks. He's going to be a little short. Cobb did a nice job coming up to make sure that he didn't get any farther. Albritton was the first man to get him. And the Vikings will have to punt it away.
We talked about Anthony Carter's breakaway ability after he catches the ball. The problem he creates for a defense is they have to pay so much attention to him that it leaves that other guy one-on-one. And we've seen Hassan Jones tonight beat Everson Walls for the first time, and the second time beat Robert Williams.
Scribner to punt to Kelvin Martin.
Couldn't beat Robin Williams. He's on Broadway. What are you doing down here?
Martin has really not had a chance, and a flag goes down at the end of the play. Martin hasn't had a chance tonight when he's gotten the punt. There's been somebody on him every time. That time it was Sam Ano. 35-yard kick, and we'll check another flag.
Bet you people wonder what those letters are on the back of officials.
What are they?
They're letters.
Thank you very much. That's side judge.
That's side judge, and he has an R, which stands for referee. And there's another guy with a BJ, which is back judge.
And FJ.
FJ, which is field judge, and then a U, which is umpire. They're all out. There's the FJ. Let me tell you the truth. All the years I played,
You didn't know who was who.
No.
Illegal block by the receivers, number 31 during the run back. It'll be first down at 10.
Timeout, 5:08 to go, third quarter. It's still a 21-point lead for the Vikings.
Buzzard's Gulch was drier than the red-hot desert ground. An hombre named Mackenzie came riding into town. His saddlebags were loaded with the best crew ever found. And he ambled up to the bar and bought the house around.
To beat the desert heat, Spuds moseys on up to Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Much obliged for the Bud Light, cowboy.
Go, Spuds, go. Fly away. Fly away.
Why don't you join Mazda's Frequent Flyer Club and fly away in a Mazda RX-7 convertible?
Fly away.
Millions of miles and millions of cars, more of them every year. They're riding on Kendall motor oil. That's what I hear.
Every year, more Americans discover the protection that only comes with the unique, pure quality of Kendall motor oil.
They're riding on Kendall motor oil, year after year.
Kendall, protection worth its weight in gold for more than 100 years.
Monday night, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills clash with the Miami Dolphins. John Saunders, Sam Rutigliano, and Ali Sherman preview the game on Zenith NFL Monday Night Matchup at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
5:08 to go in the third. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. Glad you could join us on ESPN. The Cowboys desperate to get something started on offense. Herschel really hasn't had much running room at all tonight. Picked up about 5 on that one, but no more. Browner and Tim Newton made the tackle. And the Newton brothers, with Tim in there, are now against each other. Nate Newton, the offensive lineman, and Tim Newton, the defensive lineman. Puts the family in a tough situation.
Yeah, Mama Newton's here. She came to watch the game. And I wonder who she, it's hard to root. I guess it would be hard to root for, once. I think you just don't want anybody to get hurt. I think that'd be the catch-all.
Second and 5, Herschel again. First down and more. That's the kind of running they need out of Herschel Walker. It's out to the 37. Brad Edwards made the tackle. 17-yard gain, and Herschel's up to 59 tonight.
We know what kind of an explosive back he is. When the defensive line stunts as much as it does, they're going to take themselves out of the play a lot. That's exactly what happens. Walker has a lot of room to run. It's just like all the receivers and everybody gets out of his way and just gives him a chance to pick his way down the field. There you see what they've done.
He's gotten to 2 over 10 yards, but that's it. Sweeney, good play fake. Now he's in trouble. Lost the ball. Vikings got it. The 6th turnover of the night. Holy cow. Keith Millard got another one. And it looked like David Howard was the guy who made the hit and shook it loose.
I asked Tom Landry if he believed in luck. He said no, he believes in hard work. I think he's finally coming around to believe in bad luck, because he's had his share of it with his ball club this year. There's Howard, just hits the arm a little bit, bounces off of Newton's leg, goes through Kerr's legs, and Millard winds up with the fumble recovery.
Kevin Sweeney, for his performance last week, the hero in Dallas. They wanted to see him start. He started tonight, and the Cowboy offense has 6 turnovers and is down by 21. Dozier is in at the running back spot for the Vikings, and he gets it after the play fake. Couple of great blocks, and Dozier down to the 12-yard line. Cobb and Bates had to make the tackle. Nice block by Tim Irwin, the 285-pound right tackle out of Tennessee.
This is the old Statue of Liberty. There's that offensive line I talked about. Now, Wilson, he pumps the fake out there. Now, instead of just hanging the ball back like we used to in the sandlot, he hands it off to Dozier, who really, this is really nothing more than a sweep. Great block out front by Tim Irwin.
Are you really admitting you're old enough to remember the Statue of Liberty play?
I used to do that. Yeah. I watch it on television. Black and white TV, but I watch it.
Dozier again. This time to the 10, too tall Jones waiting for him there. David Howard, another former USFL player who's made an impact in this league.
Kevin, it's either a long-distance call to Fresno State, or else he's calling his dad out there, or else he's talking to Paul Hackett upstairs. And what he's doing is he's listening. And I'm sure that Paul is saying, look, settle down. Just relax. You can't do everything yourself. Just play this thing out, play by play, and don't try and make, you know, sometimes when you have a great half like you did last week, you try and press.
Second and 7. Wilson just throws this one away. He was looking for Hassan Jones all the way, and he was covered very well. Vikings, of course, have to win this game just to stay within 2 games of the Chicago Bears in their division. And really, more importantly, if they win tonight, they'll have a 7-4 record, and we have to start thinking about wild cards. It's going to get very interesting.
That's right. The NFCs, of course, is tightened up. Phoenix beats the Giants. The Redskins really get manhandled by Chicago. And the Redskins, 2 of the last 3 weeks, with something I didn't really believe would happen. They've been physically manhandled. Houston manhandled them, and now the Bears have manhandled them. That division's tightening up. So, yeah, they want a shot at the Bears being 1 game behind so that they can win the division.
3rd and 7. Wilson throws short and a little bit behind Anthony Carter at the 5. And here comes the field goal team. Wade a little upset either with Carter in the way he ran the pattern or with himself in the way he delivered the ball.
Well, he walked over and talked to Jim Gustafson, and Gustafson was involved in clearing out the pattern for Anthony Carter, and I don't think he got out of the way quick enough.
Nelson to make it a 24-point lead with 2:07 to go, 3rd period. And the Vikings add to their total with 2:03 to go, 3rd quarter. The Vikings are up by a bunch.
His name is Harold, and he likes to deal to transform your car into a new set of wheels. Now the things he does aren't under the hood. The things Harold does make your car look good. If you need a stereo, upholstery, or glass, he's fixing your car as quick as a flash. Come over to Amherst on Sheridan Drive. Harold has what you want when you arrive.
Well, there's only one thing I'd like to say. Remember, the name is Harold, okay?
Tell you what I'm going to do. You want a blue Corsica? I got this red Beretta. Take the one I got. I'll save you big bucks.
That's not how we do business at Globally Chevrolet. If we don't have exactly the model, the color, and the options you want, we'll factory order your new Chevrolet for just 2.9% over factory invoice.
2.9%? How do they do it?
Growing bigger day by day. GM parts all the way. Go Globally Chevrolet. The Echo truck.
Hi, I'm Russ Salvatore. I'm Joe Salvatore of Salvatore's Italian Garden. Our seafood menu features live lobster.
Renowned for its world-class cuisine, Salvatore's menu features such culinary delights as Chateaubriand, carved right at your table, succulent rack of lamb, and tempting desserts like our Flaming Cherries Jubilee.
For an evening of truly fine dining, join us at Salvatore's Italian Gardens.
Transit Road, 3 minutes from the Buffalo Airport.
Vikings 27, Cowboys 3, and Minnesota preparing to kick off. A loss tonight would drop the Cowboys to 2-9, and that's a very un-Dallas-like record. And a Viking fan here in Cowboy territory.
I'll tell you one thing about these fans. There's 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and they have not left.
They've really hung in there, and of course selling tickets has been a problem here in Dallas this year.
Yeah, this one was almost a sellout tonight.
Came out to see Sweeney.
Must be nothing else on television. Well, it's a nice night here in Dallas. They just they came out. They're looking for a reason to cheer. They really are.
Burbage from the 1. Got away from Fullington. Dragged down at the 35. 35-yard kickoff return. This is the scene that Joe Theismann wants to see. Inside the blimp.
96,
and the pilot, Mark Kleinett, at the controls. Beautiful sight over Dallas.
Look at that.
I've seen you drive a car. I don't think I'd want you piloting the blimp.
It would go a lot faster now, I got to be honest with you. Was zipping around a little bit.
I don't think blimps were designed to go that way.
That's a visual. That's a sound from a blimp. Make those quiet little sounds.
Sweeney back at the controls. Has been intercepted 3 times tonight. Wants a screen and did a smart thing, threw it away. Minnesota not fooled at all. They had 3 guys out in the middle of the screen. Al Baker was one of them, and he just tossed it away.
The amazing thing about this defense that the Vikings have is they have played together so long. You've got guys with experience. Carl Lee's got 6 years. Isaac Holt's got 4. Wayman Henderson's a young rookie. Joey Browner with 6. Of course, Brad Edwards playing because John Harris was on IR, but Harris brings all that experience. And up front, 4 years, 4 years, 2 years, 9 years. Doug Martin being the leader up there. They just start to play so well.
Running a little stunt there with Newton. Sweeney throws for Chandler through his hands. Reggie Rutland on the cover.
From Kevin Sweeney, intended for number 89, Thornton Chandler, incomplete. 3rd down, 10.
Tim Newton, number 96, going up against his brother Nate Newton. There it is. And what do you wind up when 2 Newtons?
Fig Newton.
That's right, you got it. How would you like to have been? How would you have liked to have been Newton and have an apple fall on you? There you go. For every action, there is a reaction. Equal but opposite action.
And you get, when the icebox and the kitchen collide, you've got 600 pounds of food-eating machinery running into each other.
Need a freezer for all that beef.
3rd and 10. Sweeney sacked by Baker, plays dead. Al Baker, who was signed in September after he was waived by the Browns, gets a sack for a loss of 10. And Sweeney has had a tough night at the office. On the right hand side of your screen, Tex Schramm, the president of the Dallas Cowboys, one of the biggest boosters of Kevin Sweeney, and Keith Millard came out of that place shaken. Leo Lewis back for the punt. Buried at the 35-yard line. 3-yard return after a 41-yard punt, and Ron Francis down on the coverage along with Ron Burton. Millard may have turned into the premier down lineman in this league as far as interior lineman is concerned, and they are working on whatever injury he sustained in that last play.
Looks like it's up in the hip region, the hip area, that upper rib area. He really was just literally dragging himself off the field after that play.
Only 1:25 to go, 3rd quarter. Vikings in complete control. Wilson wants more. Threw intended for Jordan, and the flag comes down very, very late. Garth Jacks on the coverage. When a crowd doesn't like it when the flag comes out that late. And it will be interference against Dallas. Penalties have really mounted up on the Cowboys this evening and hurt them in critical situations.
Interference, number 53 on the defense. 1st down.
That is 10 penalties on the Dallas Cowboys tonight.
Wade Wilson just trying to hang it up. Jordan runs a little out and up.
And it wasn't much, but it was plenty.
There's nothing Garth Jacks could have done. He bid on the turn of the head by Jordan and did the best thing he could, try and stop the big completion.
Wilson over the middle, intended for Hassan Jones, incomplete. Right there with him was Manny Hendricks.
For number 84, Jones.
Now, I got to be honest with you. That front 4 of the Cowboys, Jim Jeffcoat, Danny Noonan, Kevin Brooks, and Ed Jones, is not that bad.
No, not at all.
They're a good defensive line. They're a tough defensive line. I really think what has hurt them is they're not lining up and just going after Wade Wilson. They're doing that la-la jump back and forth, shifting front, and it's made it very difficult to get any pressure on the passer.
Of course, they also like to run out of the flex, which really doesn't give you a lot of pass pressure. Here comes the blitz. Wilson unloads again. Nobody saw it coming. 2 Viking receivers standing together and 2 Dallas defenders standing together about 5 yards apart. And the ball was 10 yards away from them.
Here's an opportunity where they're all lined up and just going after the passer. See, they're set. Their rear ends are up. Their heels are dug in. And Jeffcoat gets in and puts pressure.
This will bring up a 3rd and 10. The Vikings with the ball at their own 43. Wade Wilson has done the job tonight. He may not have the greatest numbers, but he has done what he's had to do.
And I don't think the Cowboys can afford to try and go after Wilson in this situation. They got burned last time out. I think they're going to have to play some kind of a zone type of coverage.
4-man rush, no pressure. Bombs away again. What a catch by Carter. Holy cow, what a catch, and Robert Williams was all over it. Robert Williams has got to be saying, what do I have to do?
And here's the end of it. This ball is underthrown, but Anthony Carter, on his way to the ground, on his knees, just makes the reception. He is everything and more you could ask for in a receiver. You know, he lulls everybody to sleep. They throw to Hassan Jones. They throw the ball to Jordan, and all of a sudden Anthony Carter comes out and he sticks a big one right in you. There you go. 6 receptions, 89 yards. It's a little below his average of 20 per catch.
Wilson for the end zone. Another flag is down as Gustafson could not get to the ball. Williams was on him, and they are really picking on Robert Williams right now. He's been burned a couple of times deep. Hold against the Cowboys.
Holding by the defense, number 23, first down.
And Williams guilty of the hold. It's an automatic first down. Wilson tonight, 11 out of 25, a couple of touchdowns, 238 yards. 27-3. If you joined us late, the Vikings were on top 17-0 before you could bat an eye. Dozier behind Anderson in the eye. Anderson. Little stutter step inside the 5 to about the 4.
Big push up front by that Viking offensive line. Randall McDaniel gets nicked. They put in Randy Rasmussen, and they don't skip a beat. They just keep on trucking. They've got another rookie, Todd Kalis, out of Arizona State, who's another excellent football player. But unfortunately, he's playing behind Gary Zimmerman.
Vikings doing a lot better this year, as you can see, in what's known as the red zone. Wilson floats it. Jordan, touchdown. He beat Garth Jacks. And Steve Jordan gets his 4th touchdown of the season.
This is just a question of the best tight end in football running away. A little quick play action fake inside to hold the linebackers. And Wade Wilson just hangs the ball up. Jordan bobbles a little bit, but he pulls it to himself before he slides out of bounds. It's just a little turnaround, flip it up in the air. Jacks mistimes his jump a little bit, but he was beaten right from the beginning.
Chuck Nelson trying to add to the total, and does. 34-3, the Vikings over the Cowboys. 14 seconds to go in the quarter. You can probably warm up the bus for this one. We'll start thinking about next week. The Patriots and the Dolphins in Miami at 8 o'clock Eastern. It all starts with game day at 11:30 in the morning. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Pete Axtell will preview everything coming up. Then at 7 o'clock, they'll be back to show you highlights of all the other games along with John Saunders. And then Joe and I, along with Roy Firestone, will be in Miami, New England, and the Dolphins.
Dan Marino has the quickest release I've ever seen. And, everybody talked about Namath when he threw the ball, how quick he got rid of it. Nobody gets rid of the ball quicker than Dan Marino. They have unfortunately fallen upon some tough times. The guy goes out and sets records after records. I'll guarantee you Marino would love to go out and just throw for about 180, 190 yards, have the running backs gain maybe 160, 170 yards, and really take some of the heat off of what they have to do as an offensive team.
Well, the history of the National Football League, you see Tex Schramm on the top tier of the stands there, the gentleman who just leaned behind the pole.
No, you can't hide, Tex.
No, he won't hide. President and general manager of the Cowboys. And it has been a tough time for him. I mean, this organization's been together for so long, since the franchise was awarded in 1960. He said something interesting earlier in the week. Somebody asked him if he was going to defend Tom Landry. He said, I don't have to defend Tom Landry. I've never had to defend Tom Landry. His record speaks for itself.
You're really talking about a rebuilding situation. Coach Landry made the commitment. He's going with a lot of young players. We'll probably start to see a lot more in this ball game now. Guys in the secondary that he wants to find some things out of. Billy Owens, Vince Albrecht, Ron Francis, Manny Hendricks. They're all defensive guys in the secondary that get some work.
Black from the 5. Chased out of bounds after he crossed the 30. Now, if you were coaching the Cowboys, would you leave Sweeney in there? Is this a learning kind of experience? Do you want him to get more repetitions in this game?
Yes, I would. I'd leave him in. I made the change. I made the commitment. They've seen what Steve Pallure can do through the first 10 football games. He's been in and out a little bit, but they've given an opportunity to him. This is a chance for them to make an assessment for Sweeney. What do they really have as quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys? You have to give him a full game. How does he react when the game is a runaway? How tough is he? You know how tough he is physically, how tough mentally.
4 seconds to go in the quarter. Here comes Dolman again. Sweeney floats it out there, almost intercepted. Solomon had a chance to pick it off, and a good job by Todd Fowler, the fullback, to prevent the interception. That is the end of the third quarter with a lot of disappointed Cowboy fans. Their team is down 34-3 right here at Texas Stadium.
This year, my son and I took some time to photograph the beauty of nature. I took pictures, he took pictures. Then naturally, we looked for the Kodak Color Watch seal for great developing. The Color Watch seal means a Kodak system checks the developing for great color, and every print is on Kodak paper. But our father and son see things differently. This is my idea of natural beauty, and this is his. The Kodak Color Watch system. You're going to thank me for it. Of course, he's single, see?
It's easy to see why Mazda truck owners are starting to toot their own horn. They've got enough reasons. Mazda trucks are so reliable. They've been rated #1 in customer satisfaction for 3 straight years. Mazda has the best warranty in the truck business. Nobody else can say that. And when you figure this sporty SE5 is priced close to the other guy's base trucks, what's left to say? I guess that says it. Mazda SE5, a sporty truck the Mazda way.
Xerox presents The Great American Torture Test, Alaska.
Xerox.
Death Valley.
Xerox.
City traffic.
Xerox.
Coast to coast to prove under the most extreme conditions you can't buy a better antifreeze coolant than Xerox. No matter where you drive.
In the first round of the 1975 playoffs, the Cowboys trailed the Vikings 14-10 with 24 seconds left when Roger Staubach launched this famous Hail Mary pass to Drew Pearson. It will be remembered as one of the great moments in Cowboy history. Dallas would go on to win its 3rd conference championship. For the Cowboys and their fans, that must seem a lot longer ago than 13 years.
When's the last time you saw that man smile like that?
Yeah, exactly. Start of the 4th quarter, 34-3 Vikings. This is probably the most disappointing game the Cowboys have had this year, because in all the other losses, they have been very competitive and very close. Heartbreaking defeats, but they haven't been hammered like this all season. Sweeney throws it back against the grain this time, completes it to Steve Folsom, the tight end out of Utah.
Yeah, I'm sort of amazed a little bit. It's the beginning of the fourth quarter. Now, Sweeney he was 1 for 5 in the first quarter, 3 for 11 in the second for 39 yards, 2 interceptions, 3 for 8 again in the third quarter. Now they finally roll him out in the fourth quarter when the game is out of hand. Look at that man's taking punishment tonight. 4 sacks, 5 turnovers, 10 hurries, 11 knockdowns. That's him. That's not anybody else. That's just him. Not the ball, but that's him.
Tommy Kramer was warming up a moment ago on the sidelines. He may be in on the next Vikings possession. Another rollout for Sweeney. Could have shoved that one downfield. Incomplete. Intended for Urban. Lee on the coverage. Tom Landry has been under an awful lot of heat this year as well as last. A lot of people saying that it was time for Tom Landry to hang it up. The game may have passed him by after being here in Dallas forever. And, of course, you see newspaper headlines like this in other cities with Chuck Noll. To a lesser degree, Don Shula has been under pressure. Now, here are 3 guys who are legends. And I don't know what you want to say about it, but I think it's a little bit ridiculous to go after a guy like Landry and Noll or Shula. They're brilliant coaches. They've proved it over the years. They have a couple of bad years. That's the way the system is set up. You're going to have some bad years.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what I think.
All right. Delay to Walker up to about the 47-yard line.
I agree with you. I think, you know, Coach Landry pointed out something that I think all 3 of these coaches, Coach Shula, Coach Noll, and Coach Landry himself, said coaching kicks in after personnel level reaches a certain point. On all those football teams, there is a personnel level that is not up to the par that they've been used to, or that we as fans of the game of the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Dolphins are used to seeing. And, you know, he's taken on a challenge. He realizes it. The great thing about him is he's willing to take the heat and let his players try and go out and play.
Sweeney will run this time. Ducks under the tackle of Edwards down at the 43-yard line. Should be enough for another first down. And Landry is optimistic about this team, Joe. And listen to the cheer for Sweeney.
Yeah, you know, the fact that he ran and actually been running for his life all night. That time he had a chance to have some positive yardage. These people have taken Kevin Sweeney under their wing. They're not interested in what the score is at 34-3. They're seeing a guy out there laying his heart out on the line, and that's really what the fans wanted to see. I mean, these people have not left.
Ball at the Viking 43. And his teammates were really fired up about the job he did last week. Sweeney's going to air this one out for Edwards, and Edwards, offensive interference, it's got to be. Edwards simply threw Carl Lee down on the ground. Carl Lee didn't have a chance.
Well, you never know. You get into this incidental contact operation.
No, this was a tackle. I mean, this verged on a public mugging. There was no way it was not offensive interference.
Now, that shouldn't be a surprise to Tom. He's seen a lot of bad things happen tonight. Just another one. Just put it on the list. Write it down. Chalk it up.
Now, you were talking about level of talent with Tom Landry. Here's the call.
Offensive pass interference, number 81, still first down.
Fans don't like it, but there was no doubt.
Well, there it is. Carl Lee's doing everything he can to try and get his head around. He gets his head pushed down. You're right. It is a mugging. Boy, both these corners have been something today. Carl Lee in particular.
The whole defense for the Vikings has been outstanding. Everything just handles down.
You know, right now you got the Bear defense, of course, ranked #1 in the league. I would put this Viking defense right up there. They may not have the marquee names of the Chicago Bears, but they've got the marquee players.
Bears, Buffalo, and Vikings. Tough to beat those. 1st and 20 now for Dallas. Delay to Walker. Get to midfield and no more. Joe, let me go back to the idea of the talent level for Dallas, and Tom Landry saying you have to have a certain level of talent before your coaching ability really becomes apparent. When you spend so much time at the top, the draft forces you to draft at the bottom.
Absolutely.
And you don't get the players that you've had in the past. You can't keep that line of players coming in order to replenish your ball club.
Mike, you can say that, but you can't defend them. They've had some lousy picks.
Oh, they have.
They've made some bad choices. I mean, they've contributed a little bit to their own situation. But this is a young football team. And, Tex pointed out, people like to see the king fall, but they don't like to see him go away.
That's right. 2nd and 17. Irvin. Boy, he makes things happen. Finally forced him out of bounds. But speed is that essential that the Cowboys have lacked at wide receivers. And this guy is a first-round draft choice and one that they've struck gold with.
Well, they have. He's just been hurt. He just does so many things with the football. Another one of those guys that not only catches the football, he's a big target, he's fast, and he can make things happen when he gets his hands on it. Yeah, it's interesting when you think of the Viking defense now. They're playing, they figure there's no way the Cowboys are going to catch him with 11:33 to go in this game. But their goal right now is to keep Herschel Walker under 100 yards. They're out there playing with the same intensity that the first starting unit was to try and hold on to that record.
Clock is stopped with 11:33 to go.
I don't think he has on that sheet what he's looking for.
I don't think so either. Joey Browner down at the sideline. An update on Walker, 66 yards on 19 carries. A little over 3 yards a carry. Good to see Browner up and all right. Herschel with 999 yards rushing on the year, poised to go over 1,000.
Tom Landry pointing out 4 things that he had to do in this football game for his team to win. Control the ball. He hasn't. Be conservative. Can't tell whether he has or hasn't. Probably hasn't. Keep it a low-scoring game. That's obvious. And can't turn the ball over early. I think he's 0 for 4.
They turned it over early and often.
Yeah, it killed him right in the beginning. 34-3. This is where players start looking at a season. They start playing for their contracts. They start playing to be evaluated in a positive way so they can be around and be a part of a rebuilding process.
3rd and 3. Tex Ram also said to find out who plays for pride. Walker on the delay. Walker to the 20-yard line. Herschel over 1,000 for the season. Jesse Solomon in on the tackle.
Does about 3,500 sit-ups a day, sets of 2. There you see a little delay. They take Dolman inside. Just run him down. John Harris making a hit deep down the field. Jesse Solomon trying to catch up with him.
First down at the 20. Herschel bounced it outside and got to the 16-yard line. It's the deepest Dallas has gotten in this ballgame. That's amazing. They have some offensive weapons, Joe.
Oh, there's no question. The problem they've had is, they say you have to have a quarterback to get them the football. My personal feeling is that the most important parts of a football team are your offensive and defensive lines, because unless your defensive line's putting pressure on, don't care who you have in the secondary, unless your offensive line is protecting and creating holes, you can have the greatest skilled people in the world, and it's just not going to happen.
Vikings have had target practice on Sweeney most of the night. Intercepted, picked off by Reggie Rutland. Sweeney to beat, and Sweeney made the tackle. The 7th turnover and a 37-yard return. It just gets worse.
That's what it looks like throwing out of the pocket. He sees this Brad Edwards go back. He just makes the throw, and it's thrown inside to Kelvin Edwards. And Reggie Rutland, he just, they complete it now. They complete the series, and that's the worst feeling for a quarterback. You just want to kill him. Try and make the tackle and say, you son of a gun.
figured out Cinemax has around 130 different movies a month. They're big movies, exciting movies, funny movies. Now Showtime, on the other hand, has half as many. How are they able to do that? Does Showtime call up and go, excuse me, could we have a month that has less days in it, please? No, I'll tell you how they do it. They show more repeats. They show the same movies over and over again, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't say, please show me another movie. Please, I know all the dialogue to this movie.
All right, stand by. Replay on slow-mo A, roll A, and dissolved A. Good.
Roll C, wipe C.
Let's get whiting out on camera 8 over there. Nod so I know you're there, somebody. Ready, D. Get back to the coach on that. Okay, let's go to camera 5, please. Whiten out. Ready, camera 8, take 8. I didn't know your family was in town. Go to camera 2. Nice work, people. Very nice work.
For the teamwork, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
So what are you going to do tonight? Probably watch TV.
Who has the highest owner loyalty in the automotive industry? Higher than any domestic or import car division? Ford. Because Ford owners in households all over America have proven their loyalty to Ford by buying another Ford.
Winning the world over. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Tonight's game from Dallas is brought to you by Cinemax, the pay TV channel that gives you more movies, more choice. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Tommy Kramer in at quarterback with 9:56 to go in the ballgame. Fenny on the toss. Bill Bates the first to hit him at midfield.
Well, Wade Wilson down, coming home, grew up in Waco. There's his numbers, 241 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. They shouldn't charge a quarterback with that. That was at the end of the half. It was just to throw it up in the air, and it's an interception pass anyway. Kevin Sweeney having no luck tonight. 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, 90 yards. Some of it's his fault. Some of it's not.
What has to be going through Tommy Kramer's mind? Here's a guy a couple years ago, the top-rated quarterback in the league. Now he's mopping up in the fourth quarter of the game. It's over.
Well, the same thing happens. He got hurt, and there's such a level that is so close on certain teams of good quarterbacks. We see it with Doug Williams and Mark Rippon in Washington. You see it with Wade Wilson, Tommy Kramer here. Jerry Burns is just willing to switch him a lot more than most people are. This is not a very good sign for the Cowboys. When they put in the other quarterback, you're supposed to think that this guy is not. Here's a guy who's #1 rated quarterback a couple years ago. Is as effective a quarterback moving the offense as the guy that just sat down, who's the starter.
And he comes off the bench throwing.
Yeah, and but that's all. Like I say, Bob Schnucker has 5 running plays and 5,000 passes.
Sports Center follows our telecast. Here's the blitz. Kramer unloaded, and we had more contact. Williams is going to be flagged for interference again. Tough night for the young man out of Baylor. He is their fastest defensive back.
Yeah, but fastest doesn't mean anything because the guys that are running down the field are pretty fast too. I mean, that's
Amen.
That's one of those things they put down in the press guide just to fill up a little space.
Pass interference. Number 23 on the defense. First down.
On one play, all it meant was he was beaten by 10 yards for a touchdown instead of 5.
There it is. I mean, you had your mugging before. Now they get a mugging on this one. Gustafson has no chance to even look up for the ball. There's Tommy Kramer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gary Cobb leveled him. That's the second time. Used to have the Aints. I don't know what they call them here, but
people came out of New Orleans and lent them their bags over.
Not anymore. Dozier on the toss. Stood straight up as he got to the 20.
Those are the same people that had tickets in New Orleans. What they did, they just drove here. They saw what was going on and they just drove here. They're not Cowboy fans. They weren't even Saints fans. They're just people that drive around from city to city.
With bags on their head. They got very inventive in New Orleans. There were people that were taking travel bags, and they actually got inside them and cut arm and leg holes. They just didn't bother with paper bags.
I don't think you'll see that here in Dallas.
No, I don't think you will either.
So.
2nd and 9. Trickery, Dozier, 10, 5, touchdown. Same play they ran earlier.
Other side, that's all. They just brought it to the left side this time. Fake the quick screen outside, the old Statue of Liberty, and then you bring the halfback around, gets that defense flowing. They're coming around. Tommy Kramer come out, pump to the right. Dozier does that little pivot step. Little Barishnikov move. Great job of staying in bounds. You know, you look at D.J. Dozier, Darren Nelson, Rick Fenney, Alfred Anderson, Alan Wrights, Darrell Harris. That's 6 pretty darn good backs.
Sure is. And it's getting ugly here in Dallas. Chuck Nelson trying to make it 41-3. And does.
Right.
There's a timeout at Texas Stadium. 8:15 left.
There's a driving force in Buffalo, and it's called Austin Pontiac. Austin features 200 new Pontiacs, from Sunbirds and Grand Ams to Bonnevilles, Firebirds, and Grand Prix. And when it comes to quality used cars, Austin Pontiac keeps only the best. Each car has passed an extensive 30-point maintenance program and includes a 90-day, 100% warranty on parts and labor. Great selection, great deals, and more for your trade. See Austin Pontiac, Buffalo's driving force, today.
Well, his name is Harold, and he likes to deal to transform your car into a new set of wheels. Now, the things he does aren't under the hood. The things Harold does make your car look good. If you need a stereo, upholstery, or glass, he's fixing your car as quick as a flash. Come over to Amherst on Sheridan Drive. Harold has what you want when you arrive.
Well, there's only one thing I'd like to say. Remember, the name is Harold, okay?
This Thanksgiving, don't miss the WWF Survivor Series live on Viewer's Choice. Watch out when co-captains Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage lead their team against the team led by Big Boss Man and Akeem. Plus more action-packed excitement. It's the survival of the fittest, the fastest, and the most ferocious. In all, 50 World Wrestling Federation superstars who will have the strategy to survive the battle of brains and brawn. This Thanksgiving, watch them strive to survive. The WWF Survivor Series live on Viewer's Choice.
8:15 left in this one. The 38-point blowout for the Vikings. A lot of the crowd has stayed around. And maybe you just saw why. 57,830 paid attendance here tonight. A leg-weary Chuck Nelson to kick off again.
He got a smile on his face, though, I'll tell you that.
Burbage on the bounce at the 1. Gets it out to the 29-yard line. Mike Malarkey made the tackle again on special teams.
Here you go. You got your starting free safety that scores 41-3, and look at the intensity of Joey Browner. Now, this guy's into it, right?
He's headed for the bench.
Well, now, you see, to his credit, on this particular coverage team, he is the safety guy. In other words, he's supposed to hang back, and here's old Ray the Cowboy. Party's over, boy. Campfire's burned out, and this wagon train has moved on. But Joey Browner, just, you know, he's supposed to move down the field at a pace.
Well, there is a belief that the Vikings got to North America before the Indians did.
It'll be a 40-second timeout.
40-second timeout. So they've stopped the clock with 8:05 left in this one.
Yeah, they Red Cashing can do basketball now. From a 40, they give him even 20-second timeout.
Isn't this the time when you agree to let the clock run under any circumstances?
Only in college. I had that happen in college.
Oh, let's do it here.
Yeah, I know. Can't do that. We did that in college once. We were playing, I won't say the team, but the second half was 49-3. And the other coach came over to Eric Parsigny and says, how about thinking about, like, on incompletions and all kinds of stuff, letting the clock run? It did. It took us 40 minutes for the second half.
Dallas, that is the worst defeat they've ever had. They're working on breaking that record, something they certainly don't want to. Swinging to the shotgun, Clack on the handoff out of it behind Newton. And clock gets up to about the 38-yard line. Black, who's had a sprained knee, and a flag is down after the play.
The tackle is by the 39th Carl Lee. There is a flag down.
An awful lot of flags tonight. The Cowboys have really cost themselves with penalties. SportsCenter, of course, follows our telecast. Bill Patrick and John Saunders will be there to update you on everything.
Great games today, too.
Boy, weren't there?
Really were some good football. Big upset. Kansas City, Cincinnati.
Against the Cowboys, their 14th penalty of the night. And here's how we got to 41-3. Hassan Jones on a 26-yard touchdown pass from Wilson.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 88 on the offense. Still first down.
And the call was unnecessary roughness. That was the first touchdown after a fumble. Then Henry Thomas gets another fumble, takes it into the end zone. It's 14-0. Haven't even settled into our seats yet. Chuck Nelson makes it 17-0 on a 39-yard field goal. Then Ruzek comes back for the only Cowboy points. Career-long 50-yarder. Hassan Jones on the bomb. It's 24-3. Chuck Nelson again, this time from 27. Jordan catches one from Wilson. It's 34-3. They're getting up out of their seats. They're headed to the parking lot now as Dozier makes it 41-3. Another flag is down. Sweeney trying to make something out of it. Great job by Sweeney. Got it out to Kelvin Martin. And one of the Vikings is hurt. Chris Dolman is down.
Holding. Number 79 on the offense. Still first down.
That's Darrell Smith, so the play will come back. But the immediate concern now is for the Pro Bowler Chris Dolman. And Al Baker walked away and wanted to slam his helmet down on the turf as soon as he saw Dolman go down.
The left side of your screen, there's Dolman going in. Coming at Sweeney. Now he just gets his leg falling on. Here he comes in again. Just gets that knee falling on.
Was obviously the hold, too. We'll check on Dolman's condition in a moment.
My brother just did something very smart.
Very smart.
He got this amazing new picture-in-picture TV.
Yep, Magnavox did it again.
Now we could watch two shows at once, so we never fight over the TV anymore.
We hardly never, in fact, we never fight anymore.
We could watch one show and preview another.
We can even reverse the picture.
How smart of Tom to get a TV this smart.
How smart of him to say how smart I are.
How smart I are?
Him too.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
We knew this day would come. You're grown up now and off on your own. It's a relief to know you're not going off by yourself. We found you the perfect escort, a Ford Escort, with performance we can trust and quality we can believe in. Oh, we checked out the imports, but hey, they're not Ford.
Daddy, my Escort's perfect.
Now get a $400 cash bonus on Ford Escort.
How does the CFO of Porsche stay ahead of the competition? AT&T. For the highest performance long-distance service, make sure you hear.
Thank you for using AT&T.
When the president of Walt Disney World goes around the world, how does he get back to Main Street, USA? AT&T. For easy access to our operators from overseas, make sure you hear.
AT&T USA Direct, may I help you?
The Patriots leave opponents red, white, black, and blue. Offense is the secret word for Miami's Marx Brothers, Duper, and Clayton. New England and Miami go head-to-head on NFL Sunday Night Football, live on ESPN.
Next week we'll be in Miami and get a chance to see Doug Flutie. 1st and 27 for the Cowboys. Got to be working on a club record number of penalties, too. Sweeney has to roll out of trouble. Sidearms it too high and incomplete. Joe Theismann, since you were once on the cover of GQ magazine, the fashion magazine, how do you rate these guys?
Well, you know, Tom Landry is your distinguished-looking gentleman, and Jerry Burns, you know, looks like he came off the cover of Popular Mechanics. What can I tell you? Burnsy's a casual guy. He might have something planned big, though, for that Bear game at the end of the season. He's saving it up. I'm not going to tell anybody, but, I mean, he's saving up the big one. There he is in his sneakers and his gray slacks. We saw him up in exhibition season this year, and his slacks weren't even tailored, but he's got them fitting right, and he's got to feel real comfortable with a 38-point lead right now.
He once said, "A mirror is my mortal enemy." Sweeney trying for the screen. Darryl Platt. 3 blockers in front of him, and getting away from all 3 blockers, Joey Browner.
It's interesting how different coaches have different philosophies. Tom Landry likes to be involved in the offense, defense, and special teams. Jerry Burns is the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. He controls the tempo, the environment. He doesn't make major decisions. Floyd Peters runs his defense, does a great job with it. Bob Schnelker runs his offense, does a great job with it. He just sort of feels the pulse of the game and makes decisions accordingly.
He was certainly a popular choice among the players when he was named as the head coach.
Well, he's been there forever. I mean, he's been a part of the Vikings forever. Now Jesse Solomon goes down a little bit. Here's a guy who's received a lot of criticism back up in Minnesota for the fact that, you know, he's an effervescent guy, likes to talk, and people say, gee whiz, Jesse, you know, you're out there hawking publicity. And he told us last night, that's not the case. People ask me questions, and I'm going to answer them. And, you know, he gets going around like a guy full of energy and everything, and he's just a guy out trying to do his job. The reason why people are asking him questions is because he's a good football player, not because he wants to talk.
Solomon up, limping a little bit. Now, the Vikings with a huge win tonight, 41-3, they're up now, but they have sustained some injuries to some key people, none of which seem to be terribly serious, but at this stage of the year, you don't want to get any more banged up than you already are. Dolman appears to be able to come back into the ball game and is right now.
You know, I know they leave players in because coaches, for some reason, just want to let their players continue to play. I have no idea why the Minnesota Vikings would put Dolman in after he hurt his knee, or have Joey Browner be involved in kicks. I really believe that now's a good chance to protect your people, because the Cowboy guys are just going to be doing everything they can to stay alive.
You bet. 3rd and 24. Comes the blitz. And Sweeney overthrows. Intended for Kelvin Edwards, but he was double covered. Penalties on the Dallas Cowboys tonight. That is only 1 short of their worst performance ever in that department. And Saxon comes on to punt. 6:34 left to go. Leo Lewis with a chance to return this one. Didn't make it back past the 47. 3-yard return after a 40-yard Mike Saxon punt. Gene Lockhart down on the coverage. And none of these injuries we feel serious, but these 4 of these guys, I mean, Pro Bowlers, Browner, Carter, Dolman, Millard, and Solomon has really come on. These are 5 critical people in your drive for the playoff.
Yeah, nothing major, but of course, Carter hit his knee on that reception. Joey Browner takes a shot in the thigh. But, you know, it's like throwing a little kryptonite at Superman. That's about all that is. Chris Dolman, we saw him get the knee. Millard could be the biggest problem, because that position he plays, it's up and down all the time. And of course, Jesse Solomon managed to come off under his own power.
Tommy Kramer finishing it up at quarterback. Darrell Harris on the sweep. Across midfield in the Cowboy territory at the 48-yard line. Ed Jones made the tackle. Dickerson will come to town with the Indianapolis Colts next week. They'll play in the Metrodome, and you'd like to have everybody healthy for that one. And the rest of the schedule for the Vikings, as they chase the Bears, it looks like every other week they will get a major test. In Detroit and Green Bay, of course, can reach up and grab you, as Green Bay has already done to the Vikings.
Yeah, but you know they've got the toughies at home. They've got Indianapolis up there in Minnesota, and New Orleans in Minnesota, and Chicago at home. And Green Bay has won 8 of the last 10. So against the Vikings. So it's not a cakewalk for them at all.
And with this win tonight, they will be 2 games behind the Chicago Bears, who lead the division. Anderson and Harris are the running back. This is Harris. Cowboys still playing hard on defense. They get it down to the 46.
Wade Wilson did another good job. You know, I don't know if I could play quarterback in the kind of situation that he does and maintain my composure the way he has. I think, you know, blowing up last week on the sidelines and having a chance to talk to the coach about, you know, how he's doing mentally. He is a bona fide star quarterback in the league. I really think he's proven himself. He proved it last year through the playoffs. His numbers here have been impressive, and he adds that other dimension to the offense. He gets rid of the ball quick, he doesn't take sacks, and he can run with the football and makes positive yardage.
Kramer off his back foot, incomplete, intended for Leo Lewis. Williams on the coverage.
And the reason Tommy Kramer's upset is because he has to come off the field. You know, when you're out there in really what's a mop-up job, you say to yourself, oh, darn, we keep the drive going. I get a chance to stay out here, not go stand on the sideline.
Sure. Scribner will come on to punt. And we have 4:43 left in this one. Kelvin Martin is deep, and SportsCenter, of course, will follow our telecast. Scribner trying for the near sideline. Great coverage after a great kick. They down it at the 1. 46-yard punt by Bucky Scribner. And he's really done an excellent job, Joe. They had all sorts of punting troubles the last couple of years.
That's right. You know, he doesn't get the ball off that quick, but he's so effective what he does. Sam Anno makes the down, but Carl Lee is the guy that kept that ball in play. He's the one that just taps it before it goes in the end zone. This is a very unselfish Vikings football team. You know, one thing that we talked to Keith Millard about last night, he said that Doug Martin taught him how to play defensive tackle. And there you see the play by Carl Lee. He's done everything. But Millard says Doug Martin gives himself up so that I can make sacks. And you know, we're a good football team because nobody cares who gets the credit.
Cowboys get the start from their own 1. Black is in there at the tailback. And he barely got out of the end zone. And this means that Herschel Walker is not going to get his 100-yard game tonight. And that means the Vikings defense has gone 34 straight without allowing them.
And this is what happens when you go 7 and 9 and you wind up with the other schedule. We know we talked about the Giants schedule before, but they got Cincinnati, Houston, Cleveland, Washington, and Philadelphia.
Well, some of those records don't look impressive right now, but the teams still do. They could lose all 5 of those games.
Cleveland is Washington, of course, having a yeoman's effort today against Chicago, not being able to do it. Crawford Kerr with his thumb all iced up. He says he's okay.
Loose ball. Sweeney dives trying to get it out of the end zone and barely did.
You know, this gets scary if you're a quarterback because, first of all, you got a pass-rushing defensive team anyway. Now you know they're going to be coming after you. Your offensive linemen know that they're coming, so the center wants to get the ball to you real quick and go make his block. And now they got guards pulling. You can't pull guards down here back in the end zone. You got too many people running in different directions. You got to fire out, give yourself a little breathing room, and then put one up down the field. The worst thing is gets intercepted, and it's like a punt.
Well, if they pull their guards down here the way it's gone tonight, they'll run into each other.
That's exactly what happened on the last play.
Goldman right to Sweeney's face. Picked off again. Edwards. Got it back to the 12-yard line. There is a flag down. 22-yard return.
On the play.
If it stands, that would be the 5th interception for Kevin Sweeney tonight.
Holding against the defense.
So that wipes out the interception, and it's also an automatic first down.
It's so, you know, there comes Dolman. He's just in Sweeney's face. You can't get anything on the ball when you're going back. Michael Irvin's trying to come back for the ball, but Brad Edwards makes a play on it. I think Chris Dolman just has a lot of respect for Kevin Sweeney, considering the beating that he's taken. So come here, let me help you out.
Tell you, Kevin Sweeney's got a lot of respect for Chris Dolman. That's a class act.
Yeah, after they knock you down, they always help you out.
Fumble. Sweeney got it out of the end zone again. Now, this is a game within a game. It looks like what the Cowboys are doing is avoiding a safety at all costs and not getting anything else done.
How close can we get to our own goal line without giving up a safety?
It's the 4th sack by the Vikings.
Now, Bob White is the center. Now, Kevin Sweeney doesn't like the shotgun. He didn't like it before tonight. Okay, now I'm sure he doesn't like it. Of course, Doug Martin jumping down on him. There's Randy White looking on him. I bet you he hasn't seen too many things like this in his career here. But, you know, in talking to the coaches, Sweeney's not necessarily that comfortable in what they call the red gun, and the shotgun, spread, whatever it's called. He's not comfortable with that.
Black got out to the 2. Joey Browner really gave him a shot after Doug Martin had wrapped him up. We have reached the 2-minute warning in Dallas. And the Vikings have wrapped it up 41-3.
A newly imported car has arrived. It comes from a company with a reputation for quality and design. And the automotive press here has already begun to praise it for its performance, styling, and value. The interesting thing is that here is Japan. And the car they're importing is the Ford Taurus.
Now get a $500 cash bonus on Ford Taurus.
No matter what unexpected problems should arise, Transamerica Property, Casualty, and Life Insurance can be there to protect you.
Hey, you big ape! Who's gonna pay for this mess?
Transamerica. For insurance and financial services, the power of the pyramid is working for you.
Gillette has changed the face of shaving. First, we made it closer. Then we made it smoother. Atra Plus. Its Lubra Smooth Strip actually releases lubricants to glide the razor more smoothly. Incredible smoothness from the first stroke to the last. The Atra Plus system. First we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
As this girl looked at the scoreboard, I mean, she's smiling. The score is 41-3. I don't know. I guess they don't frown. I don't know. Who cares?
I'll say one thing.
I'll just dance on.
They continue to draft good cheerleaders.
Well, yeah. Look at this. This guy's, he's there for Kevin Sweeney with the gun. Just in case, he's telling one more time.
He needs a bigger weapon, I'm telling you.
I tell you. He should have a bazooka on his shoulder.
Mercifully, 2 minutes to go in this.
3rd and 13.
Sweeney must feel like he spent his entire life in his end zone. Baker, safety. 2 more. Dolman also got there.
It's just a question of who they're going to give credit to. I mean, Kevin Sweeney has proven one thing tonight. He is one tough football player.
Boy, he has just taken a severe beating.
He has stood alone tonight. There he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. He tries to step up in the pocket, and he has no prayer. No chance whatsoever.
Well, that makes it 43-3, and Tom Landry has not been through very many of these in his career, even when he had an expansion team in 1960, the first few years when this team lost. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Well, it's fun if you're wearing a purple jersey. It's been an enjoyable night if you're in white and blue, and especially if you're number 19. It's been something you'd want to blot out of your memory.
I'll tell you, the amazing thing is there's only a little bit of blood on a towel on that man's body. Danny White is saying, look, you got to look at it this way. It can't get worse. There's the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, Floyd Peters, who has been an architect of some great defenses. You know, and here's a guy there's going to be some coaches changes in the league, and I think he's a guy who should be considered. They always look for the offensive coaches to make them head coach. But Richie Pettibone with the Washington Redskins, Floyd Peters with the Minnesota Vikings. You know, if people don't score, they don't beat you.
Exactly.
That's my theory. And I'm a quarter. You know, I played on the other side of the fence, but I played against these guys. These men have got a great philosophy, and it's you know, both of them had very high-ranked defenses for the last couple of years.
Saxon on the free kick. Leo Lewis gets up to the 44-yard line. Now, Floyd Peters has done a great job wherever he has been. There are some coaches in this league, assistant coaches and head coaches, wherever they move, they have turned in an outstanding job. And here's the playoff picture right now. Minnesota, with this win, will be 7-4, and you take a look at the 3 teams in contention for 2 wild card playoff berths right now: Phoenix, the Vikings, and the Rams. Boy, Phoenix really showing in the East.
They've got so much offensive firepower, and their defense has played, I think, exceptionally well. Much better than Gene Stallings, I believe, thought.
Harris hit behind the line of scrimmage. We'll have a couple of more plays, and this one will be over. This should go into the record books as the 4th worst defeat in the history of this proud Dallas franchise.
I know it's no consolation to Kevin Sweeney, but on September 9th, 1985, I came in and played in this stadium in a game on Monday night, and I threw 5 interceptions. And, you know, it just really makes you go back to the drawing board and say, what can I do to avoid disaster? And, you know, you have a tendency to get a little gun shy. I think the one thing that he shouldn't do is get gun shy, because this is not a defeat of one man. This is you know, you talk about the team contributing to victory. Well, the team has contributed to a loss. And on the Viking side, they've all contributed to a victory.
Certainly have. And it will be interesting to see what Dallas decides to do next week. Will they continue to go with Sweeney? Is it back to Pallure? Danny White is ready to play again?
Danny is White. Danny would like to play. Danny said he'd like to get out there and see what he can do. I think they have to look at Danny White to see if he can come back next year and contribute to this ball club. His knee is okay. It doesn't bother him at all.
No doubt on this side of the field, I think Wade Wilson certainly played very well tonight. And there's Danny on the sideline.
No, he's not. That's Mike Solari.
Excuse me.
It looks a lot like
Doesn't
Danny.
He ever?
That's Mike Solari, the special teams coach. There's Danny White standing next to the real Steve Pallure.
14 seconds to go in this game, and Kramer goes back to throw. Are you kidding? I really can't understand that. You're up 43-3 with 8 seconds to go in the game. You want to pass the ball?
They've got, you know, there's Kramer coming over. I'll tell you something. Tommy Kramer is a class act. I don't think he did it. I don't think Bob Schnelker called the play. A lot of times they signal something in. Plays look a lot alike. They might have signaled in something like that, and Tommy said, hey, I don't believe it, but I'm going to call it because the coach did it. So, you know, I think that one goes down as because Jerry Burns is too much of a class act, as well as Bob Schnelker. They're not going to do this to the Cowboys. And, you know, it's one of those mistake plays. I'll guarantee he doesn't throw this one.
They better run this one. And they do with Harris. And that's it. And now they're going after Kramer. The Dallas defensive line, Randy White, Jeff Coates back there. I don't think they bought the explanation of that third down pass. I think they wanted to get to Tommy Kramer and say, hey, that's not right. And now Jeff Coates is after Kramer again, and he got to him. Jeffcoat had Kramer by the face mask and was jerking him around. He was really upset about that third down play, mistake or otherwise.
I don't know what caused it, but I can tell you something. That's frustration. That's all that is just a whole lot of frustration. The defense of the Cowboys, again, left out on the field all night, and they just can't hold it together.
And look at the Vikings, including Jerry Burns. Studwell came over, shook the hand of Kevin Sweeney.
There you see the right-hand part of your screen. There you see. There's Jeffcoat going after Tommy Kramer. I think he's telling him, look, we don't want you to do that kind of stuff. I have no idea what caused it. If it was the pass that caused it, then I think they're trying to read into it. I don't believe that Tommy Kramer did it, and I just can't believe it was something that was intentional.
Our final score here in Dallas, the Vikings 43, the Cowboys 3. On behalf of Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick saying so long from Dallas. Thanks for watching tonight. Now let's go to our Sports Center.